There we go. So I have to ask, why am I here? And I can't see you, but you can see me. The second piece that I would say is, what is it that keeps a superintendent up at night worrying about a creative economy and worrying about the rise of the smart machines? And I have to say that Ed Hess over at the Darden School at the University of Virginia, I think really captures what really worries me, and that is that we're living in a world that is changing so rapidly in our homes, our communities, our workplace, and in our educational world from before children enter kindergarten into the twilight of our careers. So when I think about this, I think about what are we doing to make sure our kids are ready for the creative economy of 2025. So here's what our kids are going to face. 18-wheelers that are driverless right now in the state of Nevada, a world-changing event. A robot called Hadrian in Australia that's laying brick to the tune of enough brick to build a house every 2 days, never has to go to sleep, drink tea, go to the bathroom, or eat supper. And whether you're looking at Forbes or ESPN, today we have an algorithm that is generating reports that no human hand has written. Look, if you read Forbes, at anything written by narrative science, it's written by a computer. So I know that our students, our creatives, that will fuel the next generation of economy in this country have to be people that are going to live in a world where blue-collar work, service work, the whole focus on white-collar work, skilled trades is changing rapidly. So I want you to meet some of our creatives who represent the best of our work to make sure they're ready for this world. Meet Iowati. She's a junior at Albemarle High School. One morning I woke up, turned on the television, and I'm seeing this group of middle school girls led by Iowati and her friends going down on the Ravenna Trail carrying lumber and power tools. And I thought, I should know about this. So I start to figure out what's going on here. And Iowati says to me, well, you know, Ms. Moran, I thought that girls need to learn about engineering and that it's fun, but also a career. And I also believe that we all need to learn about community service. So I put two things together, went to my teacher, Jeff Prilliman, and said, hey, I want to do this camp this summer. And he said, why not? And so Iowati built the first bridge building camp for girls in our community, run by girls, for girls, and we now have a bridge across a small creek on the nature trail because of her work. And guess what? Iowati is now getting ready to start her next camp this summer. We're educating our kids for life, not school. Next student I want to talk about is Nick. And here's Nick. Nick is a student, and he's maybe not the A student that Iowati is. He actually is kind of a kid whose school is not his cup of tea. But Nick is an entrepreneur. And Nick went to summer school and was asked the question, so Nick, what do you want to do? And he said, be home playing baseball. And the teacher said, well, what do you like to do in baseball? And he says, well, I'm a catcher. Well, what challenge do you have? And Nick said, pitchers can't pitch strikes. So Nick built a prototype of something he calls Strikey Sensor, 9 lasers, Arduino, wooden frame. He is now partnering with a venture capitalist, working on a patent, CEO of his own company, won a startup weekend here in Charlottesville, has been to the White House, and written up in Forbes as a young entrepreneur, another creative. We expect our kids to be Renaissance thinkers, to be able to use multidisciplinary thinking. So Julian up there with his drone would say, I love drones. James in the lower from Western Albemarle would say, I love music. These two guys are changing the way that the culture of our schools work because they found maker spaces in our library there. Julian has now started a drone club, just not at his school, but also at Henley Middle School. James has written a curriculum for next year to co-teach a course in music construction with one of the teachers at Western, and they are making a difference in their schools as creatives and entrepreneurs right now. so I really see the contagious creativity we need as a nation, a state, and a community as spreading across our schools. And these kids will be there in 2025 leading us. These two young people are people who are part of a team at Sutherland Middle School that have built, not just used somebody else's virtual reality headsets, i.e. Google. They've made their own by 3D printing them, and they now have been working as part of a team to build the first virtual reality field trip to Monticello. So how cool is that? And what we're doing in our work in Albemarle County Public Schools is to really focus our kids on their voice matters, their agency can give them control and power in their own learning, and their influence matters as well in terms of their community and their schools. So this group of young people actually represent the best of what I think our arts programs do, and that is, as these kids will tell you, it's not just about entertainment, it's also about making sure that communities engage in the arts in ways that make a difference. So these young people have gone out, they have performed Memphis this spring, they will be performing Memphis. They did 21 Chump Street back in the fall and engaged their communities in talking about ethics, responsible decision making, and also things like how do arts really inform our culture. So these are our young people at Monticello High School with two that were borrowed from Albemarle High School. Now, I'm going to leave you with something that Iowati said, because I think this is important to every person in this room, as it is to all of our educators, as it is to our community, our elected leaders, and our corporate leaders. And that is what Iowati learned from her teacher. And that is, in order to get change in place, we have to get to yes. And getting to yes means taking risk, it means trying new ways of doing things, and it means being able to leverage our creativity and entrepreneurial thinking to make our community a better place, to make our workplaces more responsive to the changing world that we live in today, and most importantly, to really be able to see our kids go through life, career after career, learning experience after learning experience, with the lifelong learning competencies they need to be successful. So thank you, Iowati, for this quote.